if you can't decide to raise your hand about the weaponization of government and what's going on in our country right now, just like our media won't, right? The media is awfully quiet. The people that bitched about democracy for 6 years, all these things that complain when Vladimir Putin does exactly what Joe Biden, it's DOJ, the Fulton County District Attorney, the New York District Attorney, and AG are trying to do. They're strangely silent. I don't know why. How is it different? I saw DiPaolo on the screen there, and I just wanted to thank Nick because I think, A, he's hilarious, but more importantly, he paid me one of the great compliments I've ever received, actually. I was speaking somewhere, I think it was in Georgia one time. And
Savannah.
He showed up and he heard me speech. He heard my speech, and he was like, hey, man, I'm glad I didn't have to follow you because you got great comedic timing. And I was like, man, that's an awesome compliment from a truly hilarious individual.
He
so
really
thanks,
did. Yeah, it was entertaining. It was obviously poignant. And, yeah, I mean, he had a great time. He rocked the place.
You know what a big thing is? It's just, you were talking about how you can't be concerned with what other people think.
Yes.
Don Jr. has the don't give a shit.
That's right.
And that's what really works.
Oh, I don't care. That you can't survive in politics. I mean, by the way, I think Ron DeSantis learned that tonight the hard way. If you're worried about what other people think, you're going to fail. You saw that when, the weaponization of government. Would you pardon Trump? And panic. I can't quite say yes. Where's Jeff Rowe? Where's my billionaire donors? What will they tell me to say? That was. Honestly, that's what I needed tonight. The American people needed to see that level of indecisiveness. They also needed to see him basically try to plagiarize the Trump campaign and not have an original thought in the world. So it was an awesome night for us. I mean, I think, Vivek actually did a great job. Ron DeSantis, though, is the guy that needed to do it.
Yeah.
He likes to steal the sort of, it's a nation in decline. I mean, this is literally I think on the Trump campaign webpage has been for years. He's trying to steal that line as though it's his own because he's not capable of that original thought. And when he can't answer those questions, when he's stealing that and plagiarizing it, it was just awesome to see. The answers that he gave were all Trump policy.
Yeah.
Right. Stealing the catchphrase, we'd send military to the border. The only things that hit were literally just taken off of Trump's webpage. He needed a breakout moment tonight. We've been hearing from, the super PAC of his that, he's leading the others by so much, but Vivek, who's never been on a stage in his life, wiped the floor with him. So it was a great night for the Trump campaign.
Well, look, and of course, I love you, Don Jr., but I always have to ask the question that the audience would have.
Yeah.
Because you're being, obviously, and I know that he's obviously the primary opponent for your dad, for President Donald Trump.
Not anymore.
Well, okay,
Not
that's
anymore,
right. But you guys did obviously support him as governor and moved to live in his state. So when did that change? Do you guys still like Governor DeSantis as the governor and just think that he's not quite fit for national office? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, we want both of these guys.
I think it's a fair question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair question. Listen, I live in Florida now. I haven't seen him as governor. He's been on the longest book tour in the history of the world before he announced. Well, no, but it's true. I mean, listen, I've done book tours. I've had 2 #1 bestsellers. They last about a week, maybe 2. They don't last 6 months, and then you announce to the presidency. He told the people of Florida he was going to run Florida. Since then, they've had historic flooding. Where was he? He was in Iowa. It doesn't really work. So I think he's been a good governor. I think Florida's been a great state to live for a long time because people actually believe in those freedoms. Yeah. I think there are other people that did great jobs. Jim Justice in West Virginia. I think you had in South Dakota. They did a great job managing COVID. I think you can do a good job with those things. But again, what scared me was I actually had, and I've spent a lot of time with him. I think the reason I wasn't so scared of DeSantis throughout was because in 2018, I probably spent 3 weeks with Ron DeSantis on the road, daily. I opened for him. I spoke at multiple events a day for 3 weeks. You can do a lot, Stephen, and you know this better than anyone. You can do a lot with, a 15-second clip of someone dunking on some moron local reporter and then making it go viral with paid influencers. It's another thing to do an hour on a stage or 2 hours when if you don't have that interpersonal skill, and you've seen that, how many times do you have to see Ron DeSantis and they keep putting him in these awkward spots, have a beer with me because that's apparently what humans and not AI-based robots do.
Yeah,
Stephen.
Yes. These aren't these are paraphrases, but yes, the point remains.
Yeah, but but
He's
that's
Liz
the
Warren.
guy, and you see that he got manhandled tonight by Vivek. The things that actually hit, the things that got applause, were literally plagiarized from the Trump campaign website. That's wonderful. Yeah, literally, how many times he said a nation in decline? What, 15 times?
Yeah.
You're really going to pretend that Trump hasn't been using that now for years. Like, again, come up with something on your own. If you're not capable of that, that's fine, but you probably don't belong on that stage. But more importantly, as I said, if you can't decide to raise your hand about the weaponization of government and what's going on in our country right now, just like our media won't, right? The media is awfully quiet. The people that bitched about democracy for 6 years, all these things that complain when Vladimir Putin does exactly what Joe Biden, it's DOJ, the Fulton County District Attorney, the New York District Attorney, and AG are trying to do. They're strangely silent. I don't know why. How is it different?
Yeah.
The
Well, I would
answer is
also
because
say
the means justify the ends for them. And they don't care. The problem with half the people on that, honestly, probably all the people on that stage, is that they don't understand the Democrats are playing a different game.
Yeah.
You know, they still think like the Democrats have some decency and morality and they care about the Constitution. Like, they laugh at us when we talk about it. For them, they'll say it as a soundbite, and it's like, ha, we're just kidding.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. And again, so I think you saw that. I think Vivek had a great performance. But I'll call balls and strikes there. He was much better. He was organic. He had real answers. It wasn't canned. But again, I don't know where he was in 20 or 18 or 16 or before that.
Yeah.
So
no, I think you're
maybe
absolutely
he had
right.
an epiphany. Maybe he just wasn't political. I know lots of people, and maybe some of his political opinions changed. I know mine have since I've gotten into this game, and since I got immersed in the issues, or frankly, as I've gotten older and actually experienced and lived, some of the things where this policy actually starts to come into play. So I can forgive that. But that's up for the American people to decide if he's genuine.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.